edible oil industry. Edible oil industry has written to the government raising concerns over influx of refined soybean and palm oil imports from Nepal. Industry says duty-free imports are flooding the Indian market under the SAFTA or South Asian Free Trade Area Agreement. Experts say Nepal-based traders are importing these oils from countries such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Argentina and Brazil. This has resulted in increase in Nepal's exports of edible oil to India from just 687 metric tons in July-August 2024 to about 56,450 metric tons in December-January 2025 period. Apart from that, palm oil imports into India are at a 13-year low due to higher palm oil prices in the global market. To discuss the implications of both these news pieces, we now have Mr. B.V. Mehta, Executive Director of the Solvent Extractors Association of India, now joining us. Mr. Mehta, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. And first things first, edible oil imports into India, especially from Nepal, have risen manifold on account of rules being flouted, especially when it comes to SAFTA rules. Help us understand what do these rules state, and now what is the industry seeking from the government?
See, there is a SAFTA agreement between the SAARC country, so they can import or export at zero duty. But there's also provision that only the item which is produced in that country. Now, Nepal, what they are doing, Nepalese refiners are importing the crude oil at zero duty, whereas we have 27.5% duty. They import the crude oil, refined, and then exporting that refined oil to India. And that is really disturbing. Earlier, it was only the UP or the Eastern Bengal was affecting. Now the Nepalese cargo is coming. Even today, you will find in Indore, in central India or Raipur, that cargo is coming. And that is upset. We are not afraid of the price. Only problem is they are throwing at a cheaper price that disturbing the local market here. So they have the margin of about 25% or 30% of the duty advantage. So naturally that is creating a problem. We have written to the government under SAFTA we must take certain actions so that excessive import of from the Nepal or that matter. Excessive import coming from the Nepal or that matter from the Sri Lanka also do not enter into the India. See, they are utilizing the SAFTA agreement terms and conditions. Now, SAFTA terms and conditions, there are certain provisions like excess import, safeguard duty that can be imposed or that can be regulated. So, what we have suggested to the government that to check the excess import, please fix up MIP, minimum import price, so that it do not enter at the lowest price. Second, fix the quota. Suppose you have say 25,000 ton quota per month, then it distribute over the various states here. So one state do not put into awkward situation by receiving the large quantity of cheaper oil. So we have suggested number of measures which can take care. We understand the SAFTA agreement is a bilateral trade agreement and it cannot be done away. But within that SAFTA agreement, there are certain provisions. The government should utilize that provision and safeguard the interest of the farmer. Now in the process also, Indian government also losing the revenue. Now Indian government raise the import duty just to support the farmer. And other side, cheaper import is coming via Nepal or Sri Lanka route. So this should be checked. And we have written, and let's hope government is seized with this issue and they will take some action to support the domestic refining industry. Yes, madam.
Understood. We get that point, and government is also losing out on its revenue on account of these rules which are being flouted. But you tell us, what has the impact been as far as domestic demand supply situation is concerned on account of sudden influx into India, and how have prices moved on account of this?
Madam, India is importing about 12 to 13 lakh or 15 lakhs per month. 50,000 doesn't make any difference so far the supply demand is concerned. But what is hurting us is a cheaper import. Now today my local price say 130 rupees a kilo, say mustard oil. and that is coming at 105 rupee. So again, I have to sell in the line of the imported one. Same with the refined soybean oil. Same in the case of refined palm oil, which is coming from Nepal. It's much cheaper. So I cannot sell my product unless I reduce my price. Because my cost is I have paid the import duty of 27.5%, where what is coming from the Nepal, they have got at a zero duty, and only they are adding the processing cost, which is 3,000 rupee or 4,000 rupee a ton. So naturally, cheaper import is hurting us. Quantity, apart from quantity, cheaper import is a major hurting us.
So cheaper imports of edible oil is hurting the industry, but when it comes to palm oil, wanted your thoughts. Palm oil imports into India have fallen to lowest that we have seen in the last 13 years on account of rise in palm oil prices in the global market. Tell us, how much have prices risen by over the last 1 odd year, and how much have imports fallen by?
Madam, once we used to say palm is the cheapest oil, but palm is no longer a cheaper oil. Today, if you go back to the 2 or 3 months back, palm was the most expensive oil. Then it was sunflower, and the lowest was the soya. On one side, palm, the production has reduced. Second, palm more and more, the Indonesia is now using B40 biodiesel. So more and more palm is consumed as a for energy and taken away from the food. So supply of the palm for the food is reduced. On the other side, there is a bumper soybean crop in the world, and availability of the soybean oil is much higher at cheaper rate. Yeah. So, and India always prefer in the winter liquid oil or soft oil. We prefer soya and sun. So naturally, India bought large quantities of soya and sun over the palm oil during the last 3 months. But of course, now palm is also reduced about 130 to $140 compared to what the price we had seen before 2 months. Yeah. So now practically all oil are around $1,100, $1,150 CIF India.
Expect palm oil prices to cool off anytime soon?
I beg your pardon?
Do you expect palm oil prices to fall anytime soon?
I don't think so, because palm is entering into the low production cycle till April, May. So already will be little tight situation. So I am not expecting price to fall very heavy. Yeah, maybe on sideline $30, $40 or either on other sides up or down can go. But I'm not expecting straight downfall of the palm oil price in the coming 2 or 3 months here.
So you do not expect palm oil prices to recover or fall in the near term. But as far as castor oil production is concerned, there's a report today which states that castor oil production in the current year could fall by about 8% on a year-on-year basis. Help us understand what is the reason for this and what's the outlook when it comes to production for the full year.
Yeah, castor oil is an industrial product. India meets world's 90% demand meets by the India. Castor oil is mainly produced in the Gujarat and second Rajasthan. Gujarat produces about 80%, 50% produced by the Rajasthan, and 5% by Andhra and Telangana. Castor oil, India is exporting about 600,000 of castor oil, about 200,000 tons of castor derivative, and 50,000 tons consumed locally. Altogether, about 900,000 being consumed, export, and the local. Yeah, it's an industrial product. And let me tell you, the farmer are getting the best price for the castor today, thanks to the efforts made by the SCA the last 7 or 8 years for raising the productivity. 7 or 8 years back, the productivity was 1,200 or 1,300 kg per hectare. We started the model farm program in state of Gujarat and Rajasthan for educating the farmer about the good agronomic practice. And what has happened today, the productivity, and we established every year we used to establish 500 to 600 model from across Gujarat and Rajasthan to showcase how to get the best productivity. And today, the product has increased from 1,200 kilo per hectare to about 2,100 kilo per hectare. Of course, God was kind, weather was good, and SA effort was all equally good. So that has helped the farmers to get a higher productivity and a higher price also. Yes, ma'am.
Thank Thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what the on-ground situation is when it comes to edible oil market. Shifting focus to